Most organizations have their website redesigned every 2 to 4 years, so our latest question is an important one. What should we include in an RFP for our new website? So an RFP, or request for proposal, is a document that tells potential vendors what info to put in their website proposal. Typically, an organization puts together an RFP when they're dissatisfied with their current website vendor but aren't 100% sure what other vendor they'd like to work with. What you put in your RFP matters because you want the best, most accurate info back from the web design companies that submit a proposal. And if your RFP is unclear or frustrating, potential vendors might ignore it and skip the hassle of dealing with it altogether. So Blue Compass is a website design and development company, so obviously I'll be answering this from the perspective of a vendor. And we've reviewed hundreds of RFPs over the years, and we absolutely don't respond to every RFP we receive because putting together a proposal can be an extremely long and intensive process. So when we receive an RFP, we examine two things immediately. Is this a good potential client with whom our values and our culture is a good fit? And is this a clear, manageable RFP? Based on our experience, here are 10 things to include in your website redesign RFP process. So the first one is clear goals. Think about the top 2, 3, 4, 5 things you'd like your website to do and list these goals out in a clear bulleted list. Then keep an eye on how well each proposal you receive references and points towards these goals. Number 2 is be concise. Putting together an RFP shouldn't take you weeks on end. We've seen RFPs that are over 50 pages before. That's almost always too long. So be clear and to the point. Don't ask for what you don't need or what you don't understand. I'd say most companies begin their new website RFP by downloading an online template, and that's fine, but make sure you personalize it and you understand it yourself. Asking web vendors to provide tons of information that you won't use could be a waste of everyone's time. Number 3 is to include your budget. So it might feel like you're revealing too much by including your budget for the project, but it will make the journey smoother for you and your eventual website vendor. Organizations and web vendors could be on very different pages with the price. So if you're thinking a $20,000 website and the vendor's thinking $80,000, it's best to get that out in the open in the beginning and then maybe go your separate ways. And yes, a range is fine, but your proposals will probably come back towards the higher end of that budgeted range. And speaking of price, number 4 is remember that price isn't everything. So imagine adding a patio onto your house and you get 3 estimates and simply go with the cheapest one. The process goes slowly and you end up getting nickeled and dimed. And then after a couple of years, the low quality starts to show and the patio degrades and you have to get more estimates to redesign it. You get what you pay for is usually a true statement. It doesn't mean you should go with the most expensive option, but remember that the price is just one aspect of the proposal. Number 5, a clear list of necessary website functionality. Your potential website development partner needs to understand your organization, your goals, and your audience. Obviously, that's important, but deep down, they're secretly just wanting to see one clear thing in your RFP. A list of the functionality you needed included in your new website. So put a bulleted list of what you need. Examples could be an event system that allows visitors to register online and pay via credit card, a blog article system with different categories, a media gallery that supports photos and YouTube videos, etc. Now your potential vendors will have additional questions about this list as they dig deeper, but this is a great way to clearly get their proposals going in the right direction. Number 6, don't make a decision just based on the proposals you receive. Years ago, I remember spending a lot of time reviewing an RFP, putting together a full detailed proposal, and then the company looking for the new website wouldn't even meet with any of the vendors and ultimately made their decision based purely on the proposals they received. When you launch a new website, you're really getting a partnership, not just a platform. This won't be just a product, it's a relationship. So be open in communicating with vendors throughout the process. You want to ensure that the agency that you select is responsible, shares your values, communicates well, and will work positively with you down the road. So also ensure this is a phased approach. Select the best few proposals and then meet with those vendors in round 2. And how they are in person or via the phone might be more important than they are on paper. And that brings me to number 7, include questions about the potential web vendors in your RFP. So don't focus on just the new website. Ask questions about the firms you may be partnering with. Here are a few that you could include in your proposal. What's your culture like? What are the last 3 websites you launched? What are you best at? What does your firm struggle with? Do you outsource work to other countries? How often do you check in with your clients after you launch a website for them? Can you provide employee testimonials about what they like most about working at your company? I rarely see questions like these in RFPs, but the answers to these would really reveal a lot about your potential website partner. Number 8, ask for references. Vendors can say anything about themselves. It's helpful to see what other clients have to say about them. Number 9, look for questions. If your vendor doesn't ask any questions and simply submits a proposal, that's not a good sign. You want a partner that's serious about digging deep and getting to know you and your project. And finally, number 10, provide a good schedule. So include a schedule with dates to ensure vendors are on the same page about when to ask their questions, when to submit their proposal, when your announcement about who will make it to round 2 will occur, when the final decision will be made, and when you'll hope to see the website completed, etc. So those are a few suggestions for your RFP process from the perspective of a website design and development vendor. If you have further questions, or even if you want help putting your RFP together, reach out and let us know. Thanks, and I'll talk to you next time.